Let's do it.
All right.
I'll take that as a yes.
What?
The ring.
The world remains in mourning after the death of Superman. Violence, acts of war, and terrorism are all on the rise.
I had a dream. It was the end of the world.
Invasion.
I think it's something more. Something darker.
We're asking people we don't know to risk their lives.
Strong man is strongest alone. You ever heard that?
That's not a saying. That's the opposite of what the saying is. Divided. We are not enough. The world needs Superman. I made him a promise. This is why I brought you together.
Ride ain't over yet.
My man.
Oh, awesome. As a bat signal, that's your... Oh, sorry. That's your signal. That means we have to go now.
Yeah, that's what that means.
It's so cool.
Hey everybody, new Justice League trailer, Superman is back, and there is a new round of Justice League ticket giveaways too. All you have to do to enter is just be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. If you didn't spot it, they also released an alternate version of this with some slightly different footage, so because I don't want to do a completely separate trailer video for that, here it is.
And maybe you need us.
How do you know your team's strong enough?
Strong man is strongest alone. You ever heard that?
That's not a saying. That's the opposite of what the saying is. This is the only way. The five of us. United.
So I love the way they open this with the reveal that Superman is back until he's not when she wakes up in bed. I'll take that as a yes. Remember, he was going to ask her to marry him at the end of Batman v Superman, so Martha gave her the ring, and it hasn't been as long as it seems. Like, I know it's been a while since Batman v Superman came out, but I think it's only been about 6 months in the movie, maybe less than a year. But they want all this stuff to devolve into crazy town Darkseid apocalypse before he comes back. That's why the Justice League has to assemble together, why they say, we can't do this alone. I love Aquaman saying too, strong men stand alone, and Batman's like, no, that's not even close to what the saying is. It's the opposite of that. The color tones are great. You can tell that they polished the CG a lot too. So Zack Snyder's always really good with color, and they do this thing with the song too. They use a completely different soundtrack, but they open it with the Man of Steel soundtrack at the beginning when he's standing in that field. They kind of did that with the last trailer where they remixed the song just a little bit to make it a little more hardcore. This one is just straight up Man of Steel at the beginning, just heralding his return. But the interesting thing that they do at the beginning here is that they show Steppenwolf coming for what looks like Amazons in this big field here. And this is where this giant battle scene has been taking place in all the trailers that we've seen so far. But then you get the close-up shot of what looks like a Roman soldier. So it actually seems like because this is the Amazons, either they're on Themyscira when this happens, or they're somewhere on the mainland and this is taking place in the distant past. Like Batman tells Wonder Woman about his dream, and everybody sort of has this vision of the apocalypse. So the vision that he's talking about is probably the one from Batman v Superman, the nightmare sequence. But because the 3 mother boxes were left on Earth thousands of years ago, this is probably when that event happened. Like they talk about the Age of Heroes coming again, and Wonder Woman's like, I never thought that it would come again. This is probably what she's talking about, this older Age of Heroes. Most of you probably picked up on this too. This is a shot of one of those ancient Roman soldiers or someone else being turned into a parademon. They actually did a version of that during the Justice League War movie, which is sort of an origin story for the New 52 Justice League, where Darkseid invades and just starts converting a bunch of Earth's people into parademons. It's much more efficient that way, like you don't have to bring that big of a force, because as you start defeating people, like on Game of Thrones, the army of the dead grows exponentially as you kill more people. But you actually do get a better look at Steppenwolf as Wonder Woman's going up against him when they're doing that sequence where they all try to go up against him by themselves and get their asses kicked. The real minor change that they made to his backstory for the movie is that he is now Darkseid's nephew, not the other way around. Way back in the Jack Kirby comics, he was the uncle, Darkseid was the nephew. This is a much better shot of Batman's flying fox. It's just hard to tell the scale because they haven't opened the door to walk out the back yet, but it's huge. He has his Batmobile inside here. And then obviously you see Steppenwolf's giant structure that he starts constructing the minute he hits Earth. So then you get to the part of the trailer where they actually start working together and it starts getting more fun. Aquaman gets picked up by Cyborg mid-air and thrown. The cool thing about this is that some of these characters are so powerful that you could actually do that. You could throw Aquaman like a football and you wouldn't hurt him that much, which is why they get to have a little bit more fun. Like imagine a version of the fastball special where Superman throws Wonder Woman at someone else with her sword. The reason why you don't see them doing stuff like that is because both of them on their own are so powerful that it'd be incredibly redundant. It was kind of hard to tell from the earlier trailers, but now with this extra footage, you get more context. So there are a bunch of locations that they visit and try to take down in the movie. So like this is happening in a slightly different place than this giant dome that the Flying Fox is approaching. So the idea is that this is happening all over the Earth. Like you see Aquaman getting his ass kicked in Atlantis when they come for that mother box. So the whole idea here is that Darkseid has tasked Steppenwolf with getting the 3 mother boxes, and they confirmed that the third one, the human mother box, is actually part of Cyborg now. I know there was a little bit of confusion after the last trailer, but there was some language in some of the marketing where it was basically like, yeah, part of the thing that they want is now part of one of the people that is in the Justice League. So it's a bit like Vision in the Mind Gem. You can only get it by completely dismantling this other person. So as is a lot of narratives and big movies like this, typically the villain comes right up to the brink of achieving his goal, or he achieves it, and then something happens like Superman comes back and they defeat him. But I think that's kind of the idea, is that they need to unite everybody, including Superman, and they can't defeat him till they do. So that's why Steppenwolf is so overconfident, because he's like, you don't have any Kryptonians, you don't have any lanterns, so there's nothing you can do to stop me. Like even all of them together, as you see him in the trailer here, before Superman comes back, are really badass. There's nothing that they can do. But let me know in the comments, how bad do you think that it's going to get for them before Superman comes back, they all rally and finally take him down? The only thing that I think that they've changed about the ending, like there's been a lot of reports about how they made some edits to the way the film ends. I think that they've minimized Darkseid a little bit, because I think the idea is that they defeat Steppenwolf, but Darkseid still needs the mother boxes, so he shows up and says, you're all royally screwed now. And that sort of opens the door for Green Lantern and more people to show up during the second Justice League movie. But because they pulled back a little bit on the world building in the DCEU, I think we'll still see some Darkseid related stuff happening, but they'll still leave that up in the air in case they want to change anything before they make that next movie. And if you're wondering, there will be another Justice League movie, but they have so many other spin-off movies like the next Wonder Woman movie, the Aquaman movie, whatever the next Man of Steel movie is going to look like, the Batman franchise, the Flashpoint movie, that they want to focus on those first before they do another Justice League team up. Favorite line from the trailer, aside from all the Superman stuff at the beginning, is the fact that the Flash is just so excited at the sight of Batman's signal. It sort of calls him out as Batman without realizing that Wonder Woman already knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman. So she's like, yeah, haha, yeah, I know who he is. I know he's the Batman. Yeah, we have to go. But let me know, what's your favorite part of this? What do you think about the Superman twist? Like, oh, he's back until he's not. He's really just a hallucination at this point. But clearly he's coming back. They keep having visions of Apocalypse. Maybe Lois at the same time will keep having visions of Superman. And that's how we'll see him earlier in the film. But if you're wondering how Superman can come back, solar radiation actually does penetrate down into the earth just at a much slower rate than if he were just sitting outside on the pavement. But we'll see how he actually winds up showing up in the movie. I'm just expecting them to turn around and for him to be there, like after Lois has a couple more hallucinations, like, wow, I keep having visions of him, but not exactly like it is in Lois's visions. But if you guys didn't know, there's going to be a new Star Wars trailer tomorrow night, so I'll post that video after it drops. I'll also be posting some new Rick and Morty. There'll be some Game of Thrones later tonight, too. So, whole bunch of stuff happening. Congratulations to Jorge de Ocampo. You're the latest ticket giveaway winner. Please private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. You can click here for brand new Flash, and you can click here for brand new Thor and Infinity War. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.